Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on KSTW 11.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11. Excited for you to join us. I am Caleb Hart. He is DT on TV. Derek Todoroff with us for the final time on the year. Apparently he's going off to school. School is for people who don't like going to races, but I get it. I understand it. We've got a jam-packed and exciting show for you today, Derek, and for everybody watching at home. As, we had 3 days of fair racing that we're going to bring to you over the course of this with a bunch of different divisions. We've got monster trucks, we've got mini bump to pass, and we're going to finish it off with one of everybody's favorite, the buses are racing again.
Yeah, sandwiched in there, we also got the vintage modifieds, the dwarf cars, both classes of our Hornets, both youth and adult, and all sorts of good action we saw over these 3 days.
That's absolutely correct. It's going to be a ton of fun. You're going to see a whole lot of different varieties, different tracks getting used, a whole lot of destruction, and a whole lot more coming up. So kick back, relax, enjoy, settle in here on Seattle 11. Home Track Heroes coming right after you. And the first thing is going to be our Youth Hornet A main event. Nice field of cars scheduled for 25 laps around. And your lineup for the Youth Hornets looks like this. On the pole, it's Kylie Surian in the 67X. And next to her, the 00 Clint McCowan, sponsored by Complete Auto Repair Service, LLC.
Row number 2, we'll see the 31 Elila Mashburn, sponsored by General Car Wash on the inside, and the Crossroads Towing number 11 of Keegan Mooney on the outside.
Third row is Andrew Zachary. He's in car number 39. You see him in your picture. Next to him, Sawyer Holden. The LB Motorsports car has made multiple podiums in the 32.
Inside of row 4, the JBR 46, that's Lola Crum. And on the outside, in the orange the orange 01, sponsored by Misfit Motorsports, that is Tanner Bjornson.
Our fifth row, the dominant car in the division, is the PRCBD number 18 of Paisley Bender. Next to Paisley, it's the 8 of Jacob Funk, who's sponsored by Mazda of Everett.
Row 6 sees the red, white, and blue Tony Hill sponsored number 65 of Bryson Wingfield, alongside the Mazda of Everett 95 of Evan Delfell.
And then at the very back of the field will be Sage Frazier. Frazier driving the 12, sponsored by Party Chief Safety Apparel. 13 cars, 25 laps, and the green is out. We are underway for our first main event of the evening.
See immediately a lot of bold moves, 3 wide back there at the corner of your screen. And now the battle for the second place spot, Andrew Zachary, Lila Mashburn, right behind Kylie in that 67X.
Yeah.
We complete one.
Kylie, a driver we haven't really seen in Youth Hornet competition here. So first weekend, first A main lap, and look at her jutting out to the early advantage over this field. Mashburn in the 2 spot, Zachary in third, but a lot of time. It's very unique looking left front wheel on the 46 of Lola Crum. It's like they put a little paint on the inside of that tire.
Oh, Mashburn going to go around off the front end of the 39. Contact between Zachary and Mashburn sends that 31 car spinning into the Uke tire there at the entrance of turn number 1. Looks like we got a replay.
Yeah, first caution here of this main event, and it comes early. You can see the contact in right front corner and left rear. It's how a lot of stock car spinouts happen. Mashburn hugs the inside, gets a little more acquainted with the Uke tire there, and we'll get ready. We'll restack them and re-rack them. Again, big field here for our Youth Hornets. We usually don't see 13 deep in the A main, but that's what we got tonight, and means leader's going to have a little bit of traffic to deal with.
Oh yeah, lap traffic playing a role in these races. Always spices things up. Gotta wonder.
Spicy.
Gotta wonder how you can best navigate through the field, especially with cars possibly battling in front of you for position, not just in a single file line.
Well, some of our faster drivers, too, have already worked their way forward on the field as look at positions 3 and 4. Bender and Bjornson already stacked up in there ready to go. Now, here in the Youth Hornets, because they're on the 5th mile track, we see single file restarts. That's what we'll get going on as Surian leads. It is Lola Crum pushing a little wide in the corner. Going to lose the spot to Paisley Bender, and Bjornson going to come through and take third.
They're going to slide along that inside line. Same time you see Sage Frazier do the same to Sawyer Holden. Back for the 5th place spot. It's 3 wide for a brief moment. Now it is up to Paisley Bender to get by the 67 car, Kylie Surian.
And will make the pass relatively easily, although Surian battling back for a second, made it hard on Paisley and gave her a little love tap getting in the middle of the 3rd corner, but Bender takes off and has your lead. Surian second, dyed black with red 67, and Bjornson with the car painted like General Lee, trying to fade up and around the outside with Frazier coming, and look out, Surian right off of the monster truck jump in the middle of the back straightaway. Caution flag will be coming.
Pretty hefty contact there into the jump. You see protected by a tire barrier. Here's another look at it. Just Looks like some contact from Sage Frazier, and then up the hill into the 0-1. And
Ooh, thought about taking that ramp.
yeah,
It looked like fun for a second, right?
oh, everything looks fun for the first time.
Can you imagine taking a monster truck jump in a little 4-cylinder, short wheelbase sedan kind of car?
That is a terrifying thought as the driver of Subaru Forester.
You say terrifying. I think fantastic. As we get ready to go back to green now, we are 21 laps to go, 4 laps in, and Paisley Bender clear track ahead of her and a chance to really set a wicked pace.
Well, 0-1 of Tanner Bjornsson will close right in, though, with that yellow flag. You see the green drop, and Paisley is off with 21 to go. Tanner Bjornsson, Sage Frazier in pursuit. Lola Crum running in 4th place right now.
Here on the 5th mile, these laps will click off quickly as here in these 4-cylinder cars, they're stock. They're basically a car. You put a roll cage in it, and you set it out to go racing. You're not allowed to do a whole heck of a lot as far as suspension goes or in-car adjustment. It's a car that you race. It's our beginner division here at Evergreen Speedway, the Interstate Battery Youth Hornets. It's a 12 to 14-year-old division. It's meant to be your introduction to big car racing.
Yeah, you know, a lot of Integras, a lot of Civics in this class. Same things you see up in the Hornet class. Some of these cars will go on to serve the drivers in the Hornets. Tegan Bjornsson drives his same Youth Hornet now in the Hornet class. So does Diesel Snyder. So a lot of drivers take those cars on up when they move. I see some lap traffic in the way of Tanner Bjornsson.
You look at it as far as the beginner division goes, we've had winners all the way up into the Pro Late models who began in Youth Hornets. So it is truly the beginner, the feeder class for our other divisions here. A lot of Youth Hornets, the next step, they'll either make it into the full-fledged Hornet division or go to a Legend in a lot of cases. So it's been interesting.
Almost all of our premier classes have had a Youth Hornet winner, including Outlaw Figure 8s, our big one on the Figure 8 track, and the Pro Lates on the 3/8.
There is Tanner Bjornsson, the 0-1, as he snuck past a couple of lap cars in the form of the 67 of Suryan. That's the 11 of Keegan Mooney going down a lap as Bjornsson running in 2nd. We're 10 laps into this race and 15 to go and trying to keep Paisley Bender close. Bender coming up on the back of the 8 of Jacob Funk and going to try to make her move on him. Funk running right in the middle of the turn. Bender kind of having to go into decision-making mode. Will she loop up and around the outside or try to wiggle her way to the inside as you look at the speed cam down the front straightaway? And again, the 8 car of Funk making it a little bit hard on Paisley. So one thing when you're the leader, you do have to decisively get around slower traffic. She's going to go to the outside this time in the turn. You see how much gap Bjornsson has made up while she's been working to try to get underneath, to the point where Bjornsson right on her back bumper cover this time in turn 2.
Whoa, a little bit of contact it looked like between the 18 and the 8. Almost sent the 8 spinning right in front of Bjornsson. But as you mentioned, Tanner now closed right up to the back of Paisley Bender. That battle for the lead might heat on up right now.
You see Bender now, once they're past the slower cars over halfway through this race, trying to extend the advantage, trying to open up the gap, and she's done so over these lap and a half now that she's gotten past the 8. Bjornsson maintaining a really good pace in 2nd. They're a long ways from Frazier in 3rd, as you can see these two the class of the field tonight.
Yeah, a lot of nights come down to the battle between these two. As you see, battle for 3rd now. Lola Crum going to shoot it up the inside in the 46. Little bit of contact with the 11, little contact with the 12. Lola Crum has the edge at the line and will move into the 3rd place spot over Sage Frazier.
I love the fact that they have like white walled the tire on the inside, giving that left front a really unique, distinct look here on Fair Weekend. Easy for everybody to spot. Meanwhile, a little bit further back in the field, we got cars everywhere, right in front of your leader.
4 cars in the way of Paisley Bender as Tanner Bjornsson has already proved traffic easy to navigate for that 0-1 machine. Going to the inside of Evan Delfo's number 95. He'll be the first car in the way as 4 more in front of him.
Yeah, McCowan's 00, Wingfield 65, and there's Bjornsson with the aggressive move to the low side on Paisley. With 7 laps to go, he's going to take the lead. Strings Bender out to the middle. As they have more slower traffic coming up, Bjornsson's going to have to be just as aggressive getting to the inside of them. He'll get through, push wide in the corner. Bender keeping in lockstep, but Bjornsson with the advantage with 6 laps left.
Well, it feels like Bjornsson much better at navigating on through this slower traffic, but once Paisley gets free, she's gone. It all comes down to how fast they can make it through this field. It's 5 to go at the line. A little bit of contact maybe between our leaders, the 18-01.
It took a look. Bender got into the corner. Bjornsson pushes wide, and there goes Paisley into the top spot, so the lead changes hands once again. Coming into 4 to go. Bender in the top spot. Bjornsson now in chase mode.
Zachary going to be the next car in the way of Paisley Bender. Now 4 laps, as you mentioned. 39 car might be the decision maker here. Might be the one that holds up Bender enough for the 01 of Bjornsson to make a move.
You feel like Bender's got to make at least this one more good decision in trying to get by the 39 of Zachary. If she can do that, it becomes much easier sailing. Zachary battling hard going into 3. Bender through the middle of the corner, still looking for room underneath, as we're down to 2 laps to go here in the Youth Hornet main.
You see that 01 car has had a great run down the backstretch and a dive in, but is Paisley going to get to the low side of the 39? That line's going to be cut off. Bjornsson with no route.
That time she had him covered getting into turn number 3, had the front tires up to the middle of the door. Zachary moves wide, and that's going to give Bender the opportunity down the back straightaway with 2 car lengths between her and Bjornsson to roll it into 3 and take the win here on Fair Weekend. Paisley Bender gets the victory over Tanner Bjornsson. And wait for it. A little ways back. And there's the checkered flag. Lola Crum ends up taking 3rd. Derek's going to run down and interview our winners at the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
Got a couple of birds telling me this is your first podium to do it up here in front of the fair crowd. What is that like?
It feels really good. I worked pretty hard because I crash most of the time.
For the entire audience, how old are you?
15 years old.
So you come home 3rd place tonight. That number 46 car, you had a great battle going with the number 12 of Sage Frazier. Walk us through that.
Just trying to hold my line. It's with the dirt, it's pretty loose out there, but managed to do it.
You made it work. Speaking of that, who helped put that number 46 car together?
John Bender. I really want to thank him for getting me out here. I'm really thankful for that in JBR.
Driver of the number 46, Lola Crum, 3rd place tonight. Feels like race after race, it's you and the number 18 battling back and forth. Today, you were making those dive bombs stick. What more do you think you needed to hold on?
Probably not a little dirt on that track.
And for the audience, how old are you?
13.
The age of 13, you come on out here, you put on a great show. What is that like to do it here in the fair?
It's amazing.
And who would you like to thank for that orange number 01?
My mom, my dad, my grandma, Whiteside Steel, Stilly Auto Parts, Olympic Embroidery, GDX Garage Doors, everyone that came out here. And also check out my YouTube channel, Misfit Motorsports.
Driver of the 01, Tanner Bjornsson, finishes 2nd. Up here on the podium once again, seemed to be a regular occurrence to meet you on up here. What is the secret to that number 18?
A good line, thanks to Bill Hunt.
All righty. And how old are you for everyone here in the audience?
14.
14 years old. You've been tearing it up on the 1/5 mile since you joined us out here. What are the plans for next year?
Probably a faster and better car and just to have fun.
All righty. You come home today 1st place in front of our fair crowd. Not only how does that feel, but who helps you put this car together?
It feels so good because there's so many fans out tonight. And I want to thank the Jack Stillwell family, Art by Nature, PRCBD, Wagley Creek, 2.5 Men Barbecue, Stride Line Socks, my Uncle Wayne, JBR, Joe's Racing Products, Pro Lions, Cox Rules Racing, Hammerhead Fabrications, and Bill Hunt.
Driver of the number 18 race winner tonight, Paisley Bender.
Welcome back here to Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. It is time to get wild for the first time tonight, as if the Youth Hornet main wasn't just a little bit wild already. It is mini bump to pass time here on Home Track Heroes. Now, here's the rules of bump to pass. If you're going to go by them, you're supposed to hit them. Supposed to. We'll let them not sometimes. You don't have to wreck them, but make contact and hit them. That's the rules, and that's really the only rule.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we have an additional rule for this particular circuit, which is you do need to go around the obstacle. Now, that obstacle being these 3 cars back here on the backstretch.
Ooh, so the 3 cars are acting as the flagpole here in
Yes.
this race. All right, so we've got a number of drivers. They're in no particular order, but the 07's Jacob Thornborough, the 15's Nick Clark, 17's Blaine Muma, Cameron Lawson, the 21T, Matt Somerville in the 25 cents, Richard Tredovic in the 58, Ben Shaw in the 76, Dirk Evans the 78X, Chris Delamagior in the 88, Curtis Payne in the 96, and Kyle Elliott the 168 is your lineup.
Now, this is
Not necessarily in that order, but those are the cars out there.
combine a flagpole race with almost a tricky triangle-esque style, as that's a very wide tri-oval.
It really does make it tri-oval-esque, does it not? Kind of cool. All right, so you'll watch them. When they go down the back straightaway, they got to make this hard left-hand turn in and around, here around the flagpole, and then all the way back, and then back into action. It makes this 5th mile race quite a bit longer. Probably more like a quarter at that point in time, I'd guess. So, then down deep all the way through. It's going to make for a really interesting angle with those guys coming with some speed. And we should see the green. Think so? Yep, all right, they're accelerating. Now, remember, you're supposed to tag them to pass. Now, tag them, not wreck them. Green is out. We know that's the 168 of Kyle Elliott. Oh, he gets brave. He gets real brave. Sails it real wide. Sharp left. Oop, yep, little thump from the 58 of Tredovic. And around the corner, we're off and running, and already somebody said, I've had enough.
I think that might have been the 96 of Mr. Curtis Payne.
Well, Curtis says, live to bump to pass another day, as we're side by side. 58 of Tredovic, and the orange car, Clark's 15? Nope, 78X of Dirk Evans, as they're getting into her. Our bump to pass race. Oh, yeah, nice shot, Evans. Leaning into him. Brought to you by Angel of the Winds Casino Resort. They now have sports betting. Think you can pick a winner? Prove it at Angel of the Winds Casino Resort, the only home for sports betting north of Seattle. Exit 210 off I-5 in Arlington. Pac-Man, that's Somerville. Little bumpy. Little bigger bumpy. Yeah, that looks like I-5. This is more like it.
Someone just made contact with the back of one of those 3 cars making up our flagpole. Not quite sure who that was, but we jump back forward to the 168 of Kyle Elliott.
Now, what is that on that top sign of his that's next to the 168? Is it a peanut? Is it a banana peel?
I will have to take a look.
Is Elliott got full banana peel going on? We'll take a look. There's the 58 of Tredovic coming around. Somerville, 25 cent, working around with the Pac-Man machine.
Ooh, contact there.
Nice little shot from Nick Clark coming through. As, boy, at this point in time, Elliott's got a huge advantage.
I believe there's still a car stuck back there behind the minivan of our flagpole.
Ooh. I do like the fact that the Pac-Man machine of Somerville is easy to identify. And it's a station wagon, which makes it even better. Station wagons make the best, for like demo cars and bump to pass cars. And I won't be convinced otherwise.
There's something really satisfying about watching them get destroyed.
They're majestic in their destruction capabilities and their capability of being destroyed.
Well, they're a bit like underdogs. You want to root for them as they go on.
That's right. Tredovic and Delamagior, the 2 guys the hardest to pronounce last names, get together. Delamagior is going to say, nope, try to back up into Tredovic, but Tredovic gets by. The deep, sharp angle. Now, all right, Finally, Elliot's going to get into traffic here, as that's the 17 of Blaine Muma. Gotta give him a little time. Now go hunting. Get him. Get him, Banana Peel Mobile. Into the corner, leans on him. Yes, takes him all the way around. I'm into it.
I think that might be a hot dog.
Think so?
As the 76 car of Ben Shaw spun over in turn number 1, but I do believe that might be a hot dog next to the 168.
Okay, so as the only college-educated portion of the broadcast team that's on air here today, could you tell me what the purpose of having a hot dog on your sign is going to be? No? Perfect. Seems like a great reason not to go to college. There's the 168 of Elliott, continuing to work his way through. It's the 88 of Delamagior and the 58 of Tredovic, who apparently might have magnets on their cars. A little smoke coming off the back of Tredovic there. As Elliott creeping around, thinking that maybe the 76 of Ben Shaw's been looking at him funny. Maybe. Starts to loop to the outside. Cuts down to the inside. Let's get some mini bump to pass violence. Yes. Little bumper shot. Just a little one. Oh, he's got a better look at it here. Yeah, turn him. Send him off into the boonies. Love it. All right, Elliott's winning here, and he's got a hot dog on his car. It's possibly the first hot dog on a car in the history of Home Track Heroes.
Well, you know, the Wienermobile seems to be pretty quick here around this track.
Interesting. Piled up on the relish and good to go. You're one of those no relish on your hot dog guys, aren't you?
I'm a Seattle dog guy. I think it needs the cream cheese on it.
All right, that's fair. I'll allow for that. We're here at the fair. They've got the hot dog stand that you can get like Lay's potato chips on. Have you tried that one?
I don't think so.
Oh, man, you gotta go. You gotta see it. 15 of Clark rolling in on Muma, sneaks by with a lack of violence. Muma trying to come back at him, return the favor, but unfortunately his 75 powers are eclipsed by the 90 horsepower of the other guy, and he can't quite hit him. He's trying.
In pursuit of them, the 168 of Kyle Ellie, who I'm not sure if he has relish on that hot dog, but I'm sure he's relishing in this victory.
Oh! Well, he's still got 8 more laps to make around before he gets the victory dog. So, we'll see how it goes. Your hot dog-related joke was excellent. I appreciate that, Derek.
All the rest of the field's playing catch-up up against him.
Coming in, working around. Oh, somebody feeds him a fender on the way through. Yeah! Got a little mustard there for Blaine Muma as he makes his way by. As Elliott starting to show he might be a full-on wrangler as opposed to just a dog. Working their way through. Now, oh yeah, Muma getting into the back of Delamagior, who spent a lot of time looking at the back straightaway wall, unfortunately for him. Still looking at it, puts it in full reverse as your leader is coming in. Elliott's had very little to worry about. Definitely not in any, danger of being overcooked, I'd say.
Not in a pickle?
Not in a pickle. Down the back straightaway, it is now the 17 of Muma and the 58 of Tredovic. Go up and around him as Muma's showing some serious sparkage. Elliott gets into another guy, turns him. That guy almost gets a door shot.
That's the 15 of Clark.
Oh, now around the corner comes Elliott. Your leader still in no danger. So we're down to 5 to go as this thing certainly picked up in intensity. He's going to loop his way up and try to get to Delamagior and put a bumper on him. Meanwhile, everybody getting a little squirrely, up and around. Oh, he found his way through without having to hit many people. But now he's got his shot at Tredovic. Turn him!
He'll take it.
Ooh, and he almost gets turned in the process. That was brilliant. Coming in 4 to go. Elliott just having a great race.
Oh, Jacob Thornborough, some contact between his 07 car and the 25 cents of Matt Somerville.
That's the first time we've called Thornborough for a little while here.
Yeah, he's running second despite that fact.
So second for Thornborough, who's had a clean race. Now he's got Tredovic's 58 taking the big scenic route up and around him. Coming around the flagpole. Look out, traffic jam. Tredovic makes it through, as unfortunately for Muma, that car is in some state of braking. As you can see, the sparkage all the way around.
Yeah, that's a roundabout way of getting through that corner. But it looks like 17 might be dragging that front bumper last I saw it come across the line.
Well, let's get a look at Tredovic's 58 and the 07 of Thornborough. Tredovic's a few laps down because he's been spun a few times. Thornborough trying to catch up to this guy, Kyle Elliott. Top dog in this race in the 168. Down to 2 laps left. And unfortunately, he's all in the clear at the moment. Like, nobody around him.
Well,
if he was on the hot dog roller, he'd be the last guy on there, right?
yeah, I think that's a fair analogy. Surprisingly, despite what we've said about Tredovic, he is actually running 4th right now in that 58 machine.
He's been a hidden MVP in this. He's had a shot to hit a guy, and he's done it a few times. As there's the white flag. At least we know who the leader is for sure. Thornborough is second-ish. Oh, Elliott's going to go bouncing off one more guy. There's Somerville. I think that's the 3rd place car that he's lapping. Oh, look at that. Big old spin at the end. Not bad. Matt got a little revenge on him. In, around the hill.
Oh, he hit the
They're
brakes.
working on your leader. Thornborough made up a bunch of ground there, but not quite enough.
Too little, too late.
As your winner, he's the leader of the pack. He is the top dog. Give the win to Kyle Elliott, Jacob Thornborough, and Matt Somerville. And let's go talk to him on the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
Matt, you drove the Pac-Man Fever Mobile all throughout the field, made your way up to 3rd. What is it like for those who aren't out here regularly, driving a mini bump to pass car?
Oh, it's just so much fun. I haven't been out here in a while, and I realize how much I miss this class, and I need to build more cars, and we need more drivers. So anybody up in the stands, find a junk car and bring it out.
You guys put on a show every time you're out here. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think of Evergreen Speedway?
Oh, I love it here. Obviously, we don't have V8s, so we know we have to step up our game with half the cylinders out here.
All righty. You put on a show for this fair crowd tonight. Who helped make that possible?
Oh, I just want to thank all my family, my work, Airport Welding and Muffler, my wife for letting me spend the time in the garage loading up this piece of junk car, and all the fans that came out. I hope you had fun watching that.
Driver of the 25 cents, Matt Somerville, 3rd place. All right, Jacob, you're a regular out here both in this class and in the V8. What is it like running bump to pass?
Oh, it's a madhouse. It's absolutely insanity out there. You got to keep your head on the swivel. There's cars everywhere. You got to keep on going because somebody's bound to rear end you. It's a lot of fun.
What's it like coming out here for the fair every year, putting on a show with that mini bump to pass class?
Oh, it's awesome. The fair is my favorite time of the year.
Who would you like to thank for that 07 machine?
Mostly I got to thank my dad. I brought the wagon and another car out here. I was going to run the other car. I blew it up in practice. Dad gave up his seat so I could run out here. So I got to thank him. Got to thank Diesel Doctor as well.
Driver of the 07, 2nd place tonight, Jacob Thornborough. You put on a show. That car was fast. It was on rails, shot out of a cannon. What was the secret to the 168?
To be honest, I don't really know. It's a car that I pulled out of my neighbor's yard that's been sitting forever, and I just threw some gear in it and let it rip.
You pulled this car to a 1st place finish tonight in front of the fair audience. How does that feel?
It feels great. I love coming out here for you guys, and we don't do this for us. We do it for our fans, so I'm glad you guys all came out.
And who would you like to thank for getting you to victory lane?
I'd like to thank Eden Claw Tire. Off-Road Vixens is my fiance's sponsor, but and then just I don't know. I'm just happy to be out here.
Race winner tonight, driver of the 168, Kyle Elliott. Make some noise for that full podium.
Welcome back here to Seattle 11. This episode of Home Track Heroes is rolling on along. Glad to have you here on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. He's Derek Todoroff. I'm Caleb Hart, and it is time we go into one of our weird track configurations. I say weird. It's Hornet time, and we never just let them turn left. We always got to throw some kind of wrench in the equation. There's a bunch of cars. They're going to go 30 laps, and your lineup looks like this. Tammy White's on the pole in the 23, and next to Tammy, the 024 of Donna Gillespie.
The 30 car of Pat Folger is in row number 2, sponsored by Olympia Pizza, and the 2 of Jason Karenberg.
Row 3, Chuck Fisher, DCL Construction sponsors the 06, and 32 of Preston Brandt, the world's tallest Hornet driver, is sponsored by North Country Towing.
Row number 4, the 19 is Scarlett Fisher, sponsored by Northdown Fence, alongside the 101 of Brian McNamara, sponsored by Trueline Wheel and Frame.
Row number 5, the Hair Inc. number 15 of Matt Snyder. Next to him, Elijah Delfell, car number 22, sponsored by Gino's Pizzeria in Lake Stevens.
Next row, the other Hair Inc. car, that's 717 of Diesel Snyder, alongside the Northwest Security and Sound, 88 of Garrett Kramer.
Row behind them, 17S of Gino Solomon, sponsored by Valley Asphalt, and the 025 of Trent Gillespie, sponsored by Burger Madness.
Next row, Cornerstone Homes number 33, Ryan Hassenfluck, alongside the Joe Speed Shop 28 of Ethan Payne.
The row behind them is a good one, the 00 of Dan Miller in the Exterior Wall Systems Inc. car, and the 81 of Bobby Fisher, sponsored by North Sound Fence.
Your points leader leads up the next row in the 07, sponsored by Gourmet Latte, that's Zach Bristol, alongside the Granite Falls Community Chiropractic G2 of Brad Gruhl.
Final 3 starters, Tegan Bjornson's 59, that's sponsored by Misfit Motorsports. Ron Powers is in the 4, and Trinity Rosal, the 48, sponsored by CR Gutters. They're on the boot and ready for some booting as the field brings their RPMs up. We are underway with White and Gillespie leading them down the front row.
They will charge into turn 1, 3 wide further back in multiple spots. Here's another view outside of turn number 3 on the 3/8. See him rolling into the hard right-hander and into the hard left. As Donna Gillespie in the lead as contact back further.
A lot of fast race cars involved in this little tangle up that we got going. 88 of Garrett Kramer, 22 of Elijah Delfell, the 59 of Tegan Bjornson. Looks like the 717 of Diesel Snyder is let's get a replay, and it all starts, I think, with the 88 getting a little cattywampus in the middle of the track.
Yeah, it looked like the 88 made some contact with the 22, contact from 07, and then everyone else kind of piling in behind there as here's Dan Miller's view hard into the back of the 88 of Garrett Kramer.
Miller ends up to fire it off and get back going, but that front end might have some pretty significant damage. And actually starts the Kramer getting the 22 of Delfell sideways, and then chain reaction. Ugh, looks like you're riding around with the zipper at the fair as they came up and through there. So everybody going to settle back in. We still got a lot of laps to make here, and that's going to take a couple of cars out of this field for some damage, I would imagine.
Yeah, the 88, that was a hard hit. Looked like a 1-2 punch from the 00 and the 07. As we get all set, field gridded back up here on the boot.
Well, hopefully everybody's all right. All the engines are okay. If their engines are not okay, they need to check into Bardall Manufacturing. Located in Seattle, world leader in automotive lubricants with oils, additives, and lubricants for your car, truck, boat, or motorized toy. Pick the brand racers around the world rely on. Bardall, celebrating over 82 years in business and operating in 90 countries, make Bardall your brand.
They will make their way through turn number 3 of the 3/8 and on to 4, out of the boot and on to the soul of this track. Looking to the flag stand, green flag back in the air for Tammy White and Donna Gillespie. They will roll into turn number 1. Gillespie on the high side, gonna let the 23 get away. We are off.
We haven't seen the viewpoint much here on Home Track Heroes that we saw that first time of the looking into the boot as they came into it. We're going to learn a lot when we see that picture because that is one of the furthest away looks in our track, and it's hard to see who's keeping their speed up through there. We know lap number 1, Tammy White, good job keeping her speed up. Pat Folger in the second position, Donna Gillespie right now in third, but it's Folger in the 30 making the run on Tammy coming through this first little sharp left-hand corner.
Oh, like Folger might have tagged. Oh, we got plenty of cars around. 81 of Bobby Fisher, 28 of Ethan Payne. Oh, we will stay green as it's still White and Folger is up front. Some more contact and battles. We got Chuck Fisher, McNamara's car is around.
Oof, bad start for Bobby Fisher here in this race as the smoke billowing out of the front. You can see the caution lights blinking on there on the back straightaway. So let's take a look. Our Home Track Heroes video crew caught a look at it as it happened.
Looks like Ron Powers next to him, and then he tags the 22 and
just a little bump into the tires that are there. Let's get a second look at it. And from his camera, it might be a little more than a little bump. It was a decent little shot. So Bobby, unfortunately, the smoke's billowing as he's like kicking those tires, trying to scramble out from that deal. Weird wreck. Second quick caution of this race. Drivers settle down, relax. Got a lot of laps around the boot still to go. Let's restack them, re-rack them, and then try it for 29 more laps now at this point. 28 maybe.
Well, Trent Gillespie will have our onboard camera here. He is alongside the 101 of Brian McNamara. He will start, you see, row 4 behind the 32 of Preston Brandt, ahead of the 19 Scarlett Fisher. On point, though, still Folger and White up on the front row.
Big thank you to Brandy Hood Promotions for the in-car shots and the GoPro work, as she has something like 17,000 GoPros in cars at various different angles over the course of Home Track Heroes during just a week of action. So they'll bring them to green, slowly bringing them up to speed this time, and we are underway down the front straightaway. Folger getting into the corner. He's got the nose ahead, but there's White battling from the inside and looking to hold the lead. She will, as they'll make their transition, the right-hand corner into the boot. Sharp left off the boot.
4 wide.
Wow. It is a fleet of race cars coming through there. But they all made it through safe, and they all get through the corner okay. So White's going to continue to lead. As you watch from Gillespie's viewpoint, as he looks to the inside of Matt Snyder's 15, and there's a look from the up-top shot of what Gillespie is seeing. Ryan Hausenfluck, your defending track champion, moving through this field nicely, and he's picking up some spots.
Yeah, he's going to take it 3 wide. Brandt and McNamara, the other 2 cars involved. A little bit of bocce ball there as around goes McNamara. Spun completely around by the 15 of Snyder as White continues to lead in the 23.
Let's see if he can fire it up and keep it going so we can stay green. You see the green traffic lights are still on. It's going to give us a chance to complete consecutive laps, which has been hard to come by here, at least here in this Hornet main. But Interstate Battery Hornets, we're green, we're rolling, and Folger's putting some pressure on White for the top spot.
Saw Ron Powers in the background. He has pulled off. 101 of McNamara back underway. Not sure he will stay with us for the remainder of the race. We head to the speed shot. It's Hausenfluck on the inside of the 06 of Chuck Fisher. And the 025 of Trent Gillespie running there right behind him.
So Hausenfluck makes another pass coming up and through the field. You take a look, Ryan, I remember seeing his car starting deep in this field. I'll do the quick math. 15th is where he initially went off from. So he is working his way through quite nicely as he is up at least within your top 6 at the moment, and continuing to move forward as he's got another one right in his viewpoint. Is that Karenberg's 2 car for 3rd?
That is Karenberg's 2 car for the 3rd place position. Trying to make the move work from the 33 of Hausenfluck. He knows that low line. He's done a lot of work and into the grass for a moment. He'll stay right there, not letting the 2 get too far away from him.
Ooh, that's a terrible corner entrance for the 2 car. Meanwhile, lead is changing and car around and visiting the Uke tire off of turn number 2. Gillespie's 024, your likely candidate.
Yeah, it looks like Donna Gillespie's 024 might have gone around off the front of the 025 of Trent Gillespie.
Oh, some Gillespie on Gillespie violence.
Nonetheless, we stay green. Folger, your leader, White in 2nd, but here comes the 33 of Ryan Hausenfluck looking around. He wants this win.
You know, Folger, this race feels like it should be about halfway through at this point in time, and unfortunately, it's not quite that far matured at this point, as there's still 22 laps to go, and the very fast Ryan Hausenfluck is about to take 2nd place over and give chase to your race leader. There's a look, 1, 2, and 3 as Ryan's moved it into 2nd. And Folger is next on the agenda for the 33. Meanwhile, Bobby Fisher looking to recover as he is dealing with Dan Miller, who's got your points leader, Zach Bristol, right in behind him.
Yeah, Dan Miller recovering from that hard hit. Speaking of, so does Zach Bristol. Both of them piled into that 88 car. Happy to see both of them moving back up through the field as Folger continues to lead, but the 33 is here.
10 laps in, and Ryan makes the move to the inside, clears him, and we're going to have a new race leader 1/3 of the way into this race.
Now it's Diesel Snyder alongside the 81 of Bobby Fisher. Zach Bristol on the inside of Dan Miller. Looks like they're going to make it through that corner clean as 33 car out in front, Ryan Hausenfluck running in the 1st place spot.
That is 3rd, Tammy White's 23, and Trent Gillespie coming through. Showing some neon on the door bars on both sides. Easy to identify. Trent here. Fair race. Put the neon on. Makes all kind of sense, right?
Yeah, that's some pretty flashy 025 as contact between Zach Bristol and Diesel Snyder, 717.
So get both of them in your viewpoint here as Fisher right up on Gillespie, who had to back off of White for a second. And now Fisher going to make the move to the inside. So Bobby Fisher taking over what is fourth spot from Trent Gillespie. Gillespie going to try to pin him to the outside as they make the hard right-hand turn. See how it works. Fisher going to get through with enough speed that he will have fourth place well in hand as they come through our third and fourth corner.
Yeah, Bobby Fisher now going to look to the third place spot. He wants a podium. Driving that 81 car. He came in second in points to Zach Bristol. There's the 025 trying to make it work against Dan Miller, who's applying pressure. Zach Bristol applying pressure on him. It's tight racing here. Third back to what appears to be seventh.
Fisher in the red, white, and blue, number 81 on the back of Tammy White's 23 and looking for any opportunity he can find.
Caution lights are on.
They are. So 13 laps into this, and we've got a car stop. That's Diesel Snyder in the 717. It sounds like we're going to get a look at what happened to him right before we break for a commercial. So let's see what we got going on for Diesel. Into the corner he goes. Down the straightaway. Woo! Whole lot of Brad Gruhl. Whole lot of quick as there's Snyder coming through. And we'll roll to a stop. We will take a break. Back with more Home Track Heroes next here on Seattle 11. Welcome back to Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11. You're in the middle of the Interstate Battery Hornet main event. I'm Caleb Hart. He's Derek Todoroff. Derek, it's been an adventure out front, but we got a new race leader in Ryan Housenfluck, and the rest of the field coming through as it's been a competitive race.
That 33 car is fast, too. Ryan's been working on it all year, trying to get it up to the front, just hasn't been able to get it done. That's why he's not leading the points like he was last year at this time, driving that number 33 car.
Well, let's see if he can get her done here in the rest of our Hornet main event. And this segment brought to you by Coastal Community Bank. At Coastal Community Bank, community is our middle name. Our bankers take time to understand your business and help move it forward. Coastal Community Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. So rolling through, it's him, Pat Folger in the outside of him. Tammy White has been battling to hang on to third, but Bobby Fisher right next to her now. As we will go green, and you can see they are leaning on each other already heading into this first corner.
Yeah, and immediately see Folger in the way of Fisher. Fisher letting him know with that heavy shot to the back as we might go three wide here for a moment. Folger gets tagged.
Oh, Tammy using the front. Bad timing for Folger. That allows Gillespie to try to sneak up and around the outside. Here comes Brad Gruhl swimming like a fish off the corner, but he got her back together. And Zach Bristol going to be a factor.
Everyone scattering back there. See, they come on to the corner. And Tammy White under pressure from Zach Bristol. Gillespie, though, going to get to the outside of Folger, try and get that final podium spot for the 025.
Ooh, cut that corner really close, but he cut it and kept his momentum up to the point where he slid up in front of Folger and distanced himself into third place. So now your top three trying to gap themselves and leave themselves away from everybody else. At the halfway point of this, Housenfluck, Fisher, and Gillespie 1 through 3.
Some problems there maybe for the 23 car. Sparks coming off of that thing. Whatever that issue be, here come Brad Gruhl in the G2, putting on more pressure. Further back, looks like a battle behind White between Matt Snyder and Ethan Payne.
To the inside goes Gruhl, the green and white number 2. And looking to make the pass. He has got a good spot, I should say, the G2. Meanwhile, Zach Bristol going to go check out turn 2.
Contact between him and the 025 of Trent Gillespie. Gotta wonder what triggered that. As you see the 33, meanwhile, making it 12 to go. Here's the 025 of Gillespie in front of the G2 of Gruhl. Coming to the line. Here comes Gruhl to the inside.
Boy, Brad's got a lot of car speed here, and Gillespie massively overshot that corner. You saw how much speed he was carrying coming into the turn. He just tried to grab it and hang on, and didn't work for him. Cost him a bunch of spots in the process.
Yeah, Ethan Payne now going to put the pressure on in that 28 car. Happy to see Ethan doing pretty well. He struggled throughout the season trying to grab a top 5. Now putting pressure on 6th place driver Trent Gillespie.
So Gillespie will will swing wide here into the corner and go, well, completely off racetrack. Bye-bye. See you later, Trent. As now, down the back straightaway, it's Payne in the 28, closing in on the 30 of Folger.
Yeah, sounds like they might have given the black flag to Trent Gillespie in the 025. As we'll continue on, Hassenfluck still out front, Bobby Fischer in second, as here's Folger battling for fourth at the 28 of Payne.
Payne's got a nice look and a good line on him coming into the corner. Pat has been pretty consistent taking that route into the turn. However, it's going to cede the spot to Ethan as he will work his way through onto the transition. Right turn, left turn through Das Boot, and he will make the pass.
Matt Snyder, the next car in line to try and do so, working that low lane, exiting out of the heel of the boot. Side by side in the battle for fifth. Final spot in the top 5 between the 30 of Folger and the 15 of Snyder, as here comes 17S of Gino Solomon.
Snyder's had a quiet year. Both he and Diesel in the class starting to put some good finishes together here at the end of the year. Can lead to a really productive and positive offseason as Snyder will make the pass. And now Gino Solomon with Pat Folger, as Folger trying to hang on here in the late stages to the best finish he can get.
At the line, looks like Solomon will have him, and through the toe of the boot, Folger will fall back to, I believe, 7th place in front of Scarlett Fisher's number 19.
The toe of the boot. Isn't that the top of the boot? This would be the toe, right? You think about how it's laid out.
I guess, yeah, if it's...
Just saying.
Guess it'd be a shoe if it were the other way. It wouldn't be a boot.
Ah, well, there you go.
Maybe I should start calling it the shoe just so I'm right.
We could call it that way. Hey, it's our racetrack. We can call it whatever we want, right? Within reason.
Within reason.
Within reason. 8 to go. Action for your leader, Ryan Hassenfluck, looking awfully good. Rolling around the outside of Trinity Rosel's 48. Makes the pass. He has been smooth. Bobby Fischer has made up some ground on him in the blue with red and white number 81 car. There is only, well, there's 2 pieces of slower traffic in between them, but the gap between those 2 has actually shrunk a bit, as Ryan now down to just a handful of laps remaining. 6 officially on the ticker, as Fischer desperately trying to make up some ground on him. 59 of Tegan Bjornsson lingers ahead for your race leader.
Yeah, it looks like 33 going to try the low lane once again on the 59. He's been hugging that low groove throughout the night. It's worked well for him so far. See, the 81 of Bobby Fischer is slowly reeling him in. Both those cars have been dominant, but much like the Highlander, there can only be one winner.
Down in through the back straightaway of our 5th mile and swinging out wide. Fischer has used the slower traffic to make up a lot of ground on him. So Bobby Fischer cutting into this lead from Ryan Hassenfluck. Ryan drifting way wide off the turn, and Fischer's going to make a bid for the top spot coming up here as they work their way into turn number 1. It's down to about 2 car lengths as they work onto the back straightaway of the 5th mile and into the right-hand corner.
Yeah, Fischer and Hassenfluck battling it out for the lead. You see Brad Gruhl seems to be clear of the battle for 4th, so he far enough back, I don't think he'll be contending for 2nd, but far enough forward, I don't think he'll be at risk of falling out of the podium in that G2.
You and I have seen enough times where lead cars get battling to the point where they forget that anybody else is in the race, and one mistake that would slow up both of them enough could put Gruhl right in this, but he needs to get a little bit closer than what he is right now. It looks like Hassenfluck is starting to add some space between him and Fischer, so Ryan might be better clear of traffic. Bobby might be a little bit better amongst racing on other cars, but right now they only have 2 more circuits figured out.
Well, here's our battle for 4th, Ethan Payne and Matt Snyder, 28 and 15 respectively, trying to figure out who gets to chase Brad Gruhl's G2.
They got a lot of ground to make up to get into that spot themselves. However, both those drivers, Payne and Snyder, should be happy with good performances here on the night. As 1 to go, white flag is out for the 33 of Ryan Hassenfluck, and if he can make one more set of good decisions amongst these slow cars, it looks like this will be his.
Yeah, I don't think, unfortunately, this will be a Cale Yarborough, Donnie Allison situation. I think these 2, who have really shown to be the fastest cars, will pull it off as making their way out of what is undeniably the heel of the boot. Number 33, Ryan Hassenfluck, will come across the line and win this one 81 of Bobby Fischer in second. And there's the G2 of Brad Gruhl in third.
All right, you're going to rip the headset off and go talk to our winners. They are on the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
Brad, that was a chaotic race. What was the secret behind the wheel of that G2 to dodge all that?
You know what? It's just picking the right lines, you know, and when there's that much carnage out there, it's a blink of an eye, you know. So you got to work your way through it and follow the right guys. These are the right guys, so I followed them, and I'm here.
You had a great run. Who helped you get this podium?
Granite Falls Community Chiropractic, Hemi Holland, Frost Towing, Braven Auto Metals, Brandy Hood Promotions, Garage Force. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody, but yeah.
Driver of the G2, second place tonight, Brad Gruhl. Oh man, you were playing evasive maneuvers throughout that entire race. You were sideways, I think, 3 times during it. Still, you come home second. That's some tenacity. Where does that come from?
I don't know. Got a little frustrated in the beginning of that race. Got spun around, ended up going to the back, and I just kind of let that anger take me up through.
You put on a great show. Who would you like to thank for this second place finish?
I want to thank everyone who helps me with my car. I wouldn't be here without them. I'm not really a front-wheel drive kind of guy, but I've come a long ways. I want to thank all the fans that come out and support us, all my family, my friends that come watch. I'm sure I'm forgetting people, but I'll go to North Sound Fence. Thank you for supporting me. Lund Orthodontics, LDP, and Central Welding.
Driver of the number 81, Bobby Fischer, finishes second tonight. All right, Ryan, you're happy to be back up here, I can tell that much. You've been fighting for a win all year long. Now you're able to grab it. How does it feel on the fair night?
Oh, it's freaking fantastic, man. This is awesome. It hasn't been just this year, dude. This is my first win, period. In 5 years I've been doing this. So let's freaking go!
You had a fast car tonight. You navigated your way through the field while others were struggling. You just made it work. Who would you like to thank for that amazing car?
Oh, man, I got amazing sponsors that keep this car on the track. Cornerstone Homes, Edwards K&S, Beast Fab and Tuning. Brandon worked on my car this week, and that thing is a rocket ship now. So thank you, man. I appreciate that. Also, it's my grandma's birthday. She's out in the pits. Happy birthday, Grandma! I got my mom, my son Lucas is back there too. Shoot, man, this is freaking rad.
Driver of the number 33, Ryan Hassenflock, your race winner tonight.
Well, hard to believe, as good as that guy has been here, that is main event win number 1 for Ryan Hassenflock. Congratulations.
He has put on a show many a time. Happy to finally see him take home that trophy.
Your defending track champion takes away the win. It's time for Monster Truck Freestyle. That is Weekend Warrior on the left side of your screen and Hillbilly on the right-hand side of your screen. This is Chicago-style racing, so they'll make a total of 3 jumps, and the first one to have the front tires down after that third jump. So there's jump 1, bingo. First one to get their front tires down after jump number 3 is the winner. Weekend Warrior on the left, Hillbilly on the right.
It looks like Weekend Warrior in the early lead, coming to rest there through the left-hand corner. This will be the final jump for Weekend Warrior. And there we go.
And bingo.
Up and over.
All right.
Winner of that one will be Weekend Warrior.
So Weekend Warrior moves on. Bracket style event as he will pull his truck to the inside. You know, typically the short wheelbase trucks have a little bit more of an advantage here in racing, but Weekend Warrior pulled it off. Now, the left side of your screen, if that truck looks familiar, it's identity theft from the Kitsap County Correctional Facility. And Spitfire, breathing a little bit of fire on the right-hand side of your screen. So identity theft, Spitfire, round 2 of Monster Truck Racing.
Yeah, looks like identity theft going to jump out to the early lead. Lots of hopping there over Spitfire, making its way into turn number 1, I guess we can call it that.
had to do a lot of work on Spitfire during the week as it had lost rear-wheel drive from its last show. So monster truck only powered on 2 wheels, kind of a tough deal, but doesn't quite make it any faster as Identity Theft going to take the win over Spitfire here in round number 2. Let's go to round number 3. As those drivers in on the left, it's the world's oldest rat rod, the California Kid on the left, and that is Maniac on the right. So the Cali Kid versus Maniac, another short wheelbase versus long wheelbase truck for Chicago style racing.
Now also a bit of old versus new, as we got that much newer style of body there on top of Maniac versus the rat rod that is the California Kid.
I think they say that is a 1934 sedan body on the Cali Kid.
Wow.
Now granted, it's upsized a little bit, but also I love the name of the California Kid's racer. His name is Willie Crash, and Willie Crash has rolled his way around, and he will unfortunately lose. Maniac moves on as we get Rockstar on your far right with Bill and Lorna Payne in the cockpit versus Weekend Warrior on your left.
There you see they are off. Rockstar starting a little bit further back from the line versus the rest.
But it doesn't hurt them. 2 drivers in Rockstar. Bill controls the front tires and I believe the steering. Lorna controls the rear and the brake, if I'm right, or brake and throttle. As you can see, putting some smoke down, and Rockstar gets the W. So Rockstar gets the win and moves on. We will have more coming up here from Home Track Heroes as the monster trucks get their Chicago style racing going, and we'll keep on rolling through as now looks like we're going into the losers bracket. Identity Theft gonna move on to take on Weekend Warrior here. So ID Theft, Weekend Warrior move on. And we're off. Got some traffic lights that the drivers of these monster trucks are watching, and Identity Theft off to the early lead.
Yeah, see Identity Theft trying to make it fairly quick around this track versus Weekend Warrior. I know that's a young rookie behind the wheel of the Weekend Warrior.
I want to say a 19-year-old kid here from locally, if I remember right.
I do believe you are correct.
About the 2nd or 3rd weekend in the truck for him, but Identity Theft is going to take the victory here over Weekend Warrior, as made good sharp corners and didn't get way too much launch on it. So Identity Theft wins. Weekend Warrior is retired. And now Rockstar are going to take on Maniac. So Maniac on the left-hand side, Rockstar on the right. And again, watch the turns. The real key to this is not scrubbing speed around the corner and being able to stay in the gas. You actually don't want to make big, gigantic jumps. You kind of want to get down over those efficiently. Around the turn, you can already see how much faster Rockstar is than Maniac, at least on that first pass.
Well, we know Identity Theft will be in the final. We'll see who it is he's up against as Rockstar makes it round the corner for the final time up and over the jump. Rockstar goes 2 for 2 here in Monster Truck Racing.
Well, it's a tough truck to beat as it routinely sweeps the Malicious Monster Truck Tour weekends. And now Rockstar starting in the far lane on your left, Identity Theft on the near lane on your right for the winner of Monster Truck Racing Chicago style here on Home Track Heroes. Are we taking bets?
No.
I'll bet you a Seattle dog.
No.
You sure? You don't want to lose a Seattle dog?
I don't want to lose a Seattle dog.
All right. Rockstar is up and rolling. They're about even hitting the first jump to the point where Rockstar got a little bit uncorked. Coming off, takes a wide corner. However, Identity Theft did not get the acceleration off the turn that it needed. One more time. Going to need a big turn here from Identity Theft to make it going. Rockstar pushed wide. It's a little tight, but coming down, I think Rockstar gets the win, albeit very barely. Got tight at the end, but that's going to be how it goes. So Rockstar takes the win here in Chicago-style racing. Congratulations to Bill and Lorna. We're going to see monster trucks later on in the program. 4 of these trucks going to be going after it in Monster Truck Freestyle towards the end of our show. With that, we got more. Stay tuned here to Seattle 11 as you're watching Home Track Heroes. You're tuned to Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11. I am Caleb Hart. He is Derek Todoroff. Let's move on in our program. We've seen some monster trucks get after it. We've seen Hornets of all kinds. We've seen mini bump to pass. Now, for the first and only time on the year, we go to the Dwarf cars here at Evergreen Speedway. Let's get a look at your lineup, then we'll tell you a little bit about the cars themselves. Your pole sitter is the 4R Gabriel Guevara, and next to him, it's the 42 of Jay Elliott.
Next in line, the 76C, Josh Vlock, one of our normal legend drivers out here in the Dwarf cars, alongside the 6W of Steve Taylor.
Row number 3 is Rick Taylor. He is in the 18C. Daryl Knutson, who's the points leader, I believe, for the series, the PHRA series of Dwarves, outside row number 3 in the W.
The 8W is Dale Knutson, running on the inside of row number 4 next to the 14W of Cameron Stark.
Ethan Knepsel is the 13W, and I apologize. I think it's actually Dale Knutson who's the points leader, not Daryl, but they run out of the same stable there. So here we go. 9 cars, 30 laps, Dwarf cars. Interesting breed of race car running 1,000 to 1,200 cc motorcycle engines in them, and they rip around this place.
Oh, they go real fast. Real excited to see what they do on this 3/8 oval. They don't come here too often as they get the one to go.
Similar to the Legends cars, they've got old style sedan and coupe bodies that they attach to them. Open wheel design, a lot of power, short wheelbase, very twitchy. Bigger power than what our Legends have, and you see a couple of Legends have tagged this field to get some seat time. The Legend car can come and run with the Dwarf at any point in time. They're just slightly underpowered, all things considered.
Yeah, we got the view from Vlock as well as Daryl Knutson on the top right, Cameron Stark on the bottom right. Rolling through turn number 4, coming to the green flag, and there we go. We're off to the races. Elliott on the outside, Guevara on the inside in turn number 1.
Wow, somebody going way 3 wide. That's Knutson in the 1W. Coming way off the top. Look at the back straightaway shot. Knutson goes 6-1 in 2 corners. Holy cow.
Here comes Cameron Stark. He's already made his way up into second, chasing down Daryl Knutson's 1W. As Vlock watches him start to get away, here comes the 18C of Rick Taylor.
Did you notice the speed sensation out of the cam on the Knutson car? Absolutely flying around this place, was he not?
Oh, he was shooting around this like he was out of a cannon.
There's Stark coming off the inside of the corner, back in, tries to kick around on him. This group of Dwarf cars run pavement and dirt, so you got to be versatile, able to do a lot. As Stark on the inside, good run on Knutson going into turn number 3.
Knutson going to try and hold the outside, not going to be able to make it work. Here comes Rick Taylor in the 18C as Cameron Stark is home free up front to the lead. As you see the 18C, Rick Taylor trying to make the low lane work. Looks like it will by him. And up into second goes the 18C, Rick Taylor.
Knutson's going to bring it down a line coming through the corners. You can see how squirrely that car got. These laps tick away really, really quickly at the speeds that they're going around. You should get a look at your leader, Cameron Stark. This segment brought to you by Evergreen Health of Monroe. When your need for speed, like these Dwarf car drivers, gets the best of you and you end up needing stitches or having bones set, Evergreen Health Monroe, a full-service community hospital ready to take care of you when you need them most. Woof. Stark checking out from Taylor, half a straightaway on him here early.
Yeah, that is a fast 14W car. Like you said, he is just pulling away. Rick Taylor, Daryl Knutson, that's rounding out your top 3. It's Vlock and Dale Knutson rounding out your top 5.
Take a look there, I believe, at Taylor's car as he gets settled and into the bottom of the corner and actually made a little bit of ground up on Stark. And that's the thing, you can string some good laps together, but all it takes is one mistake, the car getting a little loose on you, and that ground can be made up in a hurry, as scrubbing speed in these cars is extraordinarily detrimental. You got to do your best to keep your foot in it the whole way around, because everybody else has all that power that they can make up time in a big hurry on you.
Yeah, that 14W, though, he is fast, running that mid-groove we don't see used too often around our 3/8 oval. He takes it around the 13W of Ethan Knepsel. You see, like, right between those two sets of white lines and exiting on the lower side sometimes, in front of Rick Taylor, who prefers to run that mid-entry and low run through the corner than lower and exit off.
So you take a look at the way these cars are constructed, Derek, and imagine, too, how low these drivers are sitting to the ground. They don't have particularly tall wheels and tires. I think they're on either 10s or 13s. My guess would be 13-inch wheels on these cars. Their center of gravity is super low. That speed sensation that they're experiencing right down low on this pavement has to be out of this world, to the point where they're getting into the corner with that kind of speed. I don't bet you it's putting a lot of strain on their body, just how hard they're getting into the corners at the speeds that they are.
I bet. Stark, though, is still running up front. 14 to go. As they move down the backstretch, shot from our turn 3 camera. Rick Taylor running second. Still Daryl Knutson still in third.
Looping around the outside of the monster trucks. Monster truck freestyle coming up later on in the program, and you can see Stark, he's carrying a lot of speed into one and kind of letting the back end step out mid-corner, then catching back up to it. Taylor in the 18. Car looks a little more balanced, just not carrying the same amount of speed as now Daryl Knutson in the 1 and Dale Knutson in the 8. Going to go to battle. It is Team Knutson taking each other on for third.
Father and son battling it out for that position. Final spot on the podium. Dale on the low side, Daryl on the high side. See that 8W maybe catch some dirt there in the inside of turn number 2. Slow up a little bit.
It's interesting. Dale Knutson recently made some modifications to that car to try to get it to work a little bit better for the paved purposes. And you can see as it comes in through the corner, he actually attached the equivalent of a sway bar to the front of it, trying to get some stability on the front end, take some of the dive out of it. And it is producing better results for him, as he is side by side with Daryl. Father-son team cars having a good battle for the third and final position here on the podium, coming out of the second corner. So we're coming into 9 laps to go.
Yeah, they remain that way. See the 1 car trying to hold that low lane. Seems to be faster through the apex of the corner, but slower on entry and exit.
Interesting path taken there by Dale that last time around, as he was actually ahead. It's pushing him way wide, almost off of the track on the back straightaway, but he'll get into turn number 1 and almost like drive this corner like it's a square. As you see, this time he comes in, both those cars having to take evasive maneuvers to clear the 13 of Ethan Knepsel. Race leader continues to be Cameron Stark, but closing in on him is Rick Taylor. As for third and fourth, Daryl Knutson, the 1W, and his dad, Dale Knutson, getting after it. Now Dale going to the bottom side here in 1 and 2.
Well, as you see, they fall back single file. You mentioned how low these cars ride. One of the risks of that is if you slide too far off at turn number 4 onto that median between 4 of the 3/8 and the front stretch of the 5/8, you can risk bottoming out, really lose control of that car. See on the right side of your screen, the 14W Cameron Stark continues in the lead as the battle heats up once again for third.
We're down to just 5 laps remaining as the father-son duo duking it out for the 3 spot. Dale inside, Daryl outside, the 8 and the 1W. Team Knutson putting on a show here at Evergreen Speedway. Wheel to wheel, door panel, almost a door panel, as Daryl gets a little bit further ahead over Dale. That last time by, Dale scrambling on the low side, trying to find the combination to make it work.
Daryl confidently holding on to his line. See, now Dale going to go back to the high side. Almost worked for him a few times. It might come down to just who has the better runoff of turn number 4. If he stays on the high side, that would be Dale.
Looks like Dale wants to pin Daryl down low, too, coming into this slower traffic that they're working around. As we're going to get a look out in front, Cameron Stark down to 2 laps to go. Rick Taylor close enough to make something happen if something goes wrong. And they've swapped lines again for third.
Looks like he might have lost it there. Through turn number 3, though, bobbled it up. Now he's going to fall back in line as here is the white flag one more time around for Cameron Stark.
Rick Taylor has narrowed a little bit, but he's not close enough unless Stark makes a major mistake here on the final time. Down the back straightaway he goes. An impressive and dominant win. Looks like coming home with Cameron Stark here in the Dwarf cars at Evergreen Speedway, as he will take the victory over Rick Taylor. And then back to the battle for third. Who's it going to be? And survey says, it's the red car of Daryl getting there. Let's go to your winners.
Well, yesterday you were a little sad, weren't able to beat your dad. Tonight, not the same case. You come home here in third place ahead of your dad, but you were battling back and forth. What is that like?
Yeah, it's pretty cool to get out there and run with him. I could see him, trying the inside, trying the outside, so it was a lot of fun. I couldn't catch these guys at all, so at least I had him to battle with.
Now, for those of you who don't really understand the difference, you drive a Dwarf car, you guys run both dirt and asphalt. How's it feel underneath the car?
Well, this is much more stable. Dirt's a whole another world. You're throwing it sideways. You're sliding around the corners. It's a lot of fun. Dirt's a lot of fun, but to me anyway, asphalt feels a lot faster.
And who would you like to thank for this third place finish?
We got Central Welding and Race Cal sponsoring us. I've got GAF Roofing and New Ray Metals out of Auburn for me. And thanks to everybody here for coming out. Appreciate it.
Driver of the 1W third place tonight, Daryl Knutson. You struggled a little bit last night. Now you get revenge, roll on up to second. What more do you think you needed to get to Cameron?
A little bit more time. It's a short race tonight, but Cam had it. I didn't have enough for him. I actually did a lot better than last night. Did a lot of work on the car last night and tonight, and it worked. It's going a lot faster, a lot better. They just don't quite have enough for Cam yet.
How do you like this 3/8 oval here in Monroe?
I've been at Monroe for about off and on for 25 years. I used to crew here as well for the Northwest Tour. And it's a great little track. We do the small one inside, but I've also driven the 5/8 with the big car. It's a lot of fun, nice and clean. It's a great facility. Thank you.
And who would you like to thank for the second place finish?
Well, we got Race Cals and Central Welding. I'd like to thank our fearless leader, Troy, and everybody else for coming out. Thank you.
Driver of the 18C, Rick Taylor, finishes second tonight. Back to back behind the wheel of the 14W. How's it feel to do that here at the Evergreen State Fair?
Oh, this feels fantastic. Getting back-to-back races is difficult as it is, but in front of such a crowd, it's pretty special.
Now you have a talent for holding that car steady even when you're a little bit sideways through the corner. What's the secret to that as a Dwarf car driver?
Oh, I don't know. I want to share that one. There's too many people listening. I don't know what the secret is. Just a lot of seat time. Lots of seat time, a lot of races run, and getting a feel for the car. And me and that car won. We're not separate.
Well, speaking of one, you came home position one tonight. Who would you like to thank for that?
Got to thank Central Welding, Race Cals, Mahonia Medicinals, and Deep Sea Charters. My friends and family supporting me, and all you guys coming out.
Driver of the number 14W race winner tonight, Cameron Stark.
You're tuned in here to Seattle 11. This is Home Track Heroes. He is Derek Todoroff. I am Caleb Hart. It is time. One of the coolest looking divisions you're going to see here at Evergreen Speedway to take the 3/8 Vintage Modifieds. Second time on the season here at Evergreen as we're ready to go. 30 times around. Your field looks like this. It's Mike Clother, car number 7. Next to him, Cale Cheth in car number 23.
Row number 2 will have the 5 of Steve Lindquist alongside the 57 of Shane Strimple.
Third row, Rick Villiard in car number 2. If you've been around Evergreen Speedway, you've assuredly seen the 10 car of Brian Cottrell race here a time or two. He starts in 6th.
Row number 4, the number 30 of Kyton Jones will be on the inside, and the 82 of Vince Conwell on the outside.
And row 5, Dave Trapp, car number 51. Steve Woods, one of the fastest guys in the division. Car number 22 starts 10th. Keep your eyes in the back of the field.
And rounding out your field, driving the number 65, last but not the least, that is Randy Adams.
So very cool race cars. It's essentially a late model with a vintage body on it is the way that guys have described it to me, with a tire that has really good lifespan to it. It actually lasts multiple nights. So we'll get a look. Let's see. If you get a look, we understand that the ticker is going to come up, but there's a problem with the programming on it. So if you see the ticker and the 10 car and having some hijinks in there, that's why. Programming, darn computers. trying to take over the world, right?
Yeah.
It happens. Fair weekend. We have this vintage modified race, and then coming up after this, we still have Monster Truck Freestyle and the buses to get to here on Home Track Heroes. It's going to be a bunch of fun still here for the rest of the program, so don't touch that dial. We got a lot coming up still.
Or don't touch that remote if you live in this century.
Thanks. Thanks, Derek. Appreciate that. You're getting no fair scones now. I want you to know that. I've got this beautiful bag of fair scones sitting here because it's fair weekend. And now Todoroff gets no fair scones because he accused me of being old, which I am. It happens. So tri-boxing, quad boxing, in fact. Cale Cheth, Brian Cottrell, Steve Woods, all on screen. The big picture up on the left. Green flag is out, and it's Clother leading him into turn one, bringing Cheth with him.
Side-by-side battle for the third-place spot as well. Strimple and Lindquist. That number 5 car making its appearance this season for the Northwest Vintage Modified Tour. Hasn't been out for its other race. See that low lane starting to slow up. Opportunity for those drivers on the high side, including Strimple, and it appears Conwell next in line.
Cheth going to get out into the lead. This is a position he has not been in a lot with the Vintage Modifieds, as he's usually coming from mid-pack or deeper. So now Cale with a chance to come on out and set the pace. Strimple too. And Cottrell going to drive around the outside. He's got third in the banana wagon.
Conwell and Woods running the high side now. Looking for the 4th place spot on Clother in the number 7 car, as Strimple might feel some pressure from Cottrell's number 10.
Conwell, we have seen have a very fast race car here at Evergreen Speedway. He's a guy who's quick around the Northwest and works his way into 4th. Going to try to make his way to bid up for 2nd as Cottrell sneaks underneath Strimple. He's got the preferred line around our 3/8, and he'll take the spot going into turn number 3.
Yeah, and I see Conwell might be looking for that 3rd place spot. Behind him, Clother has given up 5th to Woods.
Woods already 10-5 in 4 laps here. That does not bode well for the rest of the field. Steve Woods, fast as usual, but they're all chasing Cale Cheth up in the lead. Cottrell in 2nd, trying to close up on him here on the front straightaway.
5 down, 25 to go. As Cottrell running 2nd, as you mentioned, Conwell sees it, and he's going to go to the low line with the 22 of Woods in hot pursuit. Is contact between Cottrell and Cheth, and hard hit into the wall.
Good timing on the caution flag for Cheth as he was pushing in the middle of that corner, something serious. And we actually go to red flag conditions here. That's the 51. Dave Trapp, who is in the wall, so we're not going to get a look at the replay because of the red flag, but rough for Trapp. Hopefully everything ends up okay on that end, as we'll have to get this field restacked, re-racked, and ready to go green flag racing once again.
Yeah, and I think it'll be real exciting how we conclude this one. We've seen a lot of speed from a lot of different drivers. It will be Cheth and Cottrell on the front row. And you see both of them we got in-car cameras for.
We do. So single file at the moment. You saw Kyton Jones making some hand signaling off to hopefully somebody watching on in the grandstands. Is single file they go. The Evergreen Speedway Chevrolet pace car pulling off to the infield. Beautiful new Camaro.
3 very different views from each of these cars. As you see Cottrell under pressure on the top left from Strimple on the inside. 3 wide, meanwhile, for a brief moment, as Woods and Jones battling it out for the 5th place spot. Cheth, the rear view, mirror view we got of Cottrell and Strimple as a pile there. Everyone seems to keep it green, but hard trouble for Woods. And problems there for the 82 of Conwell. A lot of smoke coming off that right rear.
Yeah, I wonder if in some of the collision, maybe it's knocked a piece of suspension off, or that right rear is in and on the body. As you can see, Conwell, he feels the issue on that car as he is limping around the middle groove, coming down and through, and I bet you see him take a right-hand turn coming off. In fact, might have knocked that rub rail or that Nerf bar that's on the right side of the car back and into the tire, which would have been causing all the smoke you saw. So now with 22 laps to go, Cale Cheth trying to escape and get away from the 10 car that's pretending that it's Greg Scott, but it's not. It's Brian Cottrell and Kyton Jones in 3rd. They're racing around, and they're racing to you because Max Power Law sponsors this segment. When you've been in an accident, that's not your fault. Max Power Law has your back. One call, that's all. 844-CALL-MAX. That is 844 Call Max today, proud sponsor of Evergreen Speedway.
Battle for 4th. You see the 2 of Villiard getting by the 57 of Strimple. As now 2nd 30 car of Jones going to get right to the low side and clear the 10 of Cottrell. Down the front stretch here, we got 20 laps remaining in our Northwest Vintage Modified main event.
So Cheth now with a new contender entering the chat as Kyton Jones sits in second, but he's got to run down Cale first, run him down and pass him 1/3 of the way into this race. And Cheth's looking really good. He's hugging the bottom. He's made consistent laps out front. Now what can Kyton do with him is the question as they roll into turn number 3.
See that top 3 still under a blanket. And as I say that, Cottrell starts to fall back from the group, but Cheth and Jones likely to be a long-fought battle between these two. We have 18 to go. Right on the back bumper, Jones wants to get by that 23 car as Cottrell sends it in real deep.
Whoa, full sail. Looking like Greg Scott for a second. He'll gather it back together and bring her down into the bottom of turn number 1.
Battle for the 4th place spot. Villiard, Strimple, and Woods in the mix. Now Woods going to go to the low lane of the 57.
That restart was kind of unkind to Woods, who was really on the charge up into that point, and then off that restart, it's taken him a while to get up and rolling once again. But back into a top 5 spot as we resume our battle for the lead.
Yeah, Jones, Cheth, that is where the eyes have to be right now. Cottrell has fallen back from him as C. Jones going to go to the low lane as they enter into turn number 1.
Oh, Cheth might have gotten just a little too wide, and Jones with a really good run off the bottom of turn number 2. Back straightaway they go, and Kyton Jones going to sneak up and into the lead. Jones down the front straightaway. He'll take the lead just beyond halfway here in this main event. And one of the things I was starting to wonder to myself, Derek, and you've seen plenty of racing here at Evergreen Speedway, a lot of late model stuff, which again, these cars are late models with vintage bodies and different tires, but the one thing that they don't have that the pro lates have is a real distinct aero package. I wonder what it's like with the air being kicked off the back of that car. No spoiler per se, just kind of flat back there, what it's like racing behind one of these drivers.
I wonder what the difference is between a car like Villiard's and a car like Woods. You see in front of you those nice, simple sliding on back to nothing versus the fins of the old-fashioned Chevys.
Definitely an interesting look. It's part of the cool thing of this division is you do have multiple varieties of it, as this battle between Woods and the 55 and the 2 of Villiard. Villiard digging hard on the bottom, but Woods showing he's got the car that can drive around the outside of people. And with 11 to go, it's still Villiard, but Woods giving him everything he can to try to sneak closer to a podium position.
Yeah, Villiard working that low lane, trying to make it work, trying to hold off the hard-charging number 22. As you see Villiard continuing, looks like to no avail, as at least at the line, the 22 will have the advantage. Steve Woods.
Yeah, you know, Woods doesn't want to keep running in that middle groove, though. He wants to get down to the bottom, the shorter lane around the racetrack, as he still can't clear Villiard. Now, Villiard missed the bottom of that corner a little bit, and it caused him to bump up and have to lift off the gas, but off of turn 4, found a better drive than Woods did and reasserts his dominance over 4th.
Stremple is, of course, waiting for one of them to make a mistake so he can capitalize. Driving that number 57 is back to the outside, goes the 22 of Woods.
Seen Stremple for years here in the Vintage Modifieds, and he is definitely improving that program. Seems to get faster and stronger year in and year out here at Evergreen Speedway. Right now, up waiting for Villiard and Woods to kind of shake out what they've got going on, as he had drifted a little bit further back, but is now starting to put some better laps together here, as we've got just 7 more times around the racetrack to go.
Villiard got real loose there, and it's going to allow Steve Woods, as number 22, to get back to the high side. Battle between the two of them resumes. As with 7 to go, Rick Villiard not out of the woods yet.
Impressive how clean these two had been racing each other right as they make contact, and I say that, there's your commentator's curse for you. Villiard down low, Woods in the middle, still trying to make the decisive pass to get up and around him and take the lane away from him. But Villiard, every time you think he's out of it, battles back. That might be the time that it took, as Woods finally got her down just enough in the corner, and let's see if he dives to the bottom of turn 1. He will indeed give 4th to Steve Woods, finally, in that battle between him and Villiard.
Now Strimple will probably be looking around for that 5th place spot that Villiard now occupies, but as we hit 4 to go, Kyton Jones is your race leader, still in control. Cale Cheth running 2nd, and Brian Cottrell running in 3rd.
This would be Cheth's best finish at Evergreen Speedway in the Vintage Modifieds, if he can hang on to it. So Cale Cheth sitting in P2, got to hold off Brian Cottrell in behind him, but both of them unfortunately losing some ground to Kyton Jones, who's looking awfully quick out in front of this field.
Yeah, Jones has put on quite a few good shows out here at Evergreen, driving that number 30 car. Seems to be learning this 3/8 oval and almost got it down to a science.
Off of the corner, 2 to go as the battle for second intensifies. Cottrell in the 10 trying to sneak his way to the inside of Cheth, and Cheth doing everything he can to hang on. He wants that second place. Gets just enough drive down the back straightaway to pull it down to the bottom of 3 and 4. 1 to go for Jones. But we're watching Cheth and again the 10 of Brian Cottrell running for second and third.
You see Randy Adams going a lap down to the 30 of Jones, working his way through turn number 3 and out of 4 to the flag stand. Checkered flag in the air, race winner, the 30 of Kyton Jones.
Derek's going to get a chance to talk to Kyton down track side. Cheth ends up getting his best finish in second. And again, Brian Cottrell driving the 10 car in third. Let's go talk to your winners in the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort Podium.
All right, you guys don't come out here too often to the Evergreen Speedway, but when you do, you always manage to put on a great show. Driving that number 10, worked your way through the field. How do you feel in front of the fair crowd tonight?
Oh, it's a blast coming out and running this car. I've got so much help from like Adventure Motorsports, Scott, here at the Adventure Motorsports shop. He's been helping me for years, so if anybody's looking for a quad, side-by-side, anything that has to do with power sports, go and talk to Scott out front. And Dirt Cheap Sewer, my buddy Angel helps me and really a lot with some funding and stuff. And my buddy Greg Scott, he works his butt off on the car, you know. When the red came out, I went to put my foot on the brake and the brake rod came off. I had no brakes. I think I had a lot better car, but I didn't want to run into Cale again. It's been one of those days, but thank the Lord, we had a really good day.
You had a good run coming home in that third place spot. How much do you like Evergreen Speedway versus the other ones you travel to?
Oh, I love Evergreen. Doug and Tracy are just awesome people. They help us with our late model and stuff. They've always been really good people, and the track's awesome, all the staff, you know, and I really enjoy it here. I like it here. It's only a couple miles from our shop, so it really helps. And thanks, Mike Johnson, Performance Engine Machine, for the motor.
So I guess I gotta ask, what's preferred for you, the vintage modified or the pro late?
I love the vintage mod class. You're racing for a trophy. Everybody gets the same amount, you know. I like them all, but I like the vintage mod. We have a lot of fun. We feel like we're competitive every time we come out. So,
anyone else you'd like to thank for your performance tonight?
Just the fans. I couldn't believe it. Earlier in the day, I looked up and there was nobody really here. And thanks for everybody showing up. It's good for Doug and Tracy.
Driver of the number 10, Brian Cottrell, takes home third tonight. Cale, that 23 car was fast, jumped out to the early lead and held on for quite a long time. What more do you think you needed to hold off Kyton?
I don't know. The car was way better in the main event than it was all day, so I can just be thankful for what it was in the main event.
Put on a show every time you come out here to Evergreen. How does it stack up versus the other tracks you go to?
I like Evergreen. I think I have the most laps on this track, so.
And who would you like to thank for this finish tonight?
My grandpa, John Woods, my uncle Steve, my family and friends that all come out, my fiance Cassidy, Campanelli Crane, Urker's Truck Repair, Dirk's Truck Repair, First Day Electric, Classic Interiors, underrated company. I think that's it.
Second place tonight, driver the number 23, Cale Cheth. All righty, Kyton, coming home in that first place spot. What's it mean to you to come home in first place here on the fair?
It's super cool winning in front of this giant crowd. It's, you know, I won this race last year, and it's pretty cool watching. Under that red, I could look up and see all the kids and everything, and then it was pretty cool.
Now, time after time, you seem to have a lot of success out here at Evergreen Speedway. How's it stack up versus the others you travel to?
Yeah, the Evergreen's definitely my home. You know, we travel to Eastern Washington a few times, but Evergreen's home.
Driving that number 30 up front all day long. What makes that car so fast?
A lot of work. My dad and I put a lot of hours into it, and it's cool to see it pay off.
And who would you like to thank for your performance tonight?
Benchmark Barrels for their sponsorship, Berg's Custom Cylinder Heads, and my dad.
Driver of the number 30 race winner tonight, Kyton Jones.
Well, you have made it to the segment that you all want to see here on Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11. This is the segment of Carnage. It's Monster Truck Freestyle, and we're going to follow that up with the greatest bus race ever. I'm putting big expectations on it. I'm Caleb Hart. He is the underage Derek Todoroff, and we are ready to go. We will be scoring the Monster Truck Freestyle like this. Derek will give them a score, a 1 to 10 scale, and then I will score them however I want because I am older and I'm allowed to do so, as Derek reminded me in the previous segment. So, first and foremost, this is the California Kid, the world's oldest rat rod. 1934 sedan body on top of a big old monster truck. As he gets his run up and going, we'll let you know. Home Track Heroes brought to you by Monroe Grocery Outlet, your locally owned neighborhood grocery store. They offer name brand products, fresh produce, organics, wine, and more at 40 to 70% less than traditional grocery stores. Shop them first and save. Monroe Grocery Outlet, proud sponsor of the Super Stock Figure 8 division. As big speed coming from the Cali Kid on jump number 1.
Well, here he goes once again up onto this jump.
Whoomp. They're given like about a minute and a half on the clock to basically be as creative as they can get here. Now, the California Kid, I've seen it do some cool stuff before, but he's taking kind of a conservative path. The Kid, right behind the Canadian flag sign. A little bit of air. Tried to pop the slap wheelie, but couldn't get the front tires way up in the air. Round the corner. Eyeballing the big jump. And whoomp.
Whoomp.
Heavy on. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
So that's called a slap wheelie is what that is. Now, normally they're able to get the front end a little bit further up in the air, but Kid giving us just a taste. Squares around. Let's see what he's got over in the middle. Up and down he goes. You see the full effect of the suspension working. And around the turn he gets. The California Kid. Oh, yeah, a little burnout at the end. A little smoke show for him. And we are done. All right. So, Derek, please levy your score.
I think that's going to have to be a 6.5 from me.
Okay, 6.5 from Derek Todoroff. And I am going to give it... Derek, you are being scored 1 to 10. You remember this, right? Okay. I'm going to give this a 17. So we're going to give that 23.5 points. 23.5. The California Kid is the early leader.
Alrighty.
17 is based on the fact that he tried to slap wheelie, but he didn't completely slap wheelie. If he had completely slap wheelied, I would have given him at least one more.
My 6.5 is based off of the fact that felt like a good number.
Okay, I like it. So, from the Kitsap County Correctional Facility, you think you've seen this truck before? Well, you've seen something like it. This is Identity Theft. The green and black destruction machine curling around the corner. All that horsepower up and done, and already getting some big air off the short jump without much momentum. ID Theft. Oh, yeah, big air coming that time as he comes up and down. Squares around the corner. Identity Theft from the tabletop is what they call that. Big air once again. And again, they get about a minute and a half to do whatever they can, as he is certainly testing the limits of the altitude of that truck here in the early portions of his run. Now getting big momentum up. Let's see. Oh, he's going to hit the 3 in the back. That's big time up and down for Identity Theft. Nice jump for him.
Real impressive work from this black and green machine. Going back over another jump. That's a nice Boeing right there.
Yeah, it's legally, you have to call it the black and green destruction machine. That's trademarked. You have to. Yeah, they're
well, but isn't the entire theme of this truck crime?
Probably. They might fine you for that, though.
Ooh.
You're here so you don't get fined.
I don't like money.
Up and down on the tabletop as the back tires end up catching on the way down. So identity theft. Nice, impressive run for him. Has he got another trick left in his book? He's going to try one more? Get some air time and get some distance on that jump. But the little hopping up and down here at the back. Oh, and he's going to come to the backside once again. Picks up some RPM, gets the front of that truck up in the air. Clearly they got the good soft shocks and springs in her today, as he's going to make the slow trip around here to the front straightaway. All right, Derek, I believe that is it for the identity theft run.
I think it might be a little bit broken there in the back.
Well, sometimes it crab walks, you know. What are you saying for your score, sir?
Well, I think the broken doesn't look very cool, so I'm going to have to go with a 7.77.
7.77 the score. I very much liked the up and down that he got on the 3 cars that he wasn't supposed to jump on, so I'm going to give him a 29 for that.
That's a very fair score.
Yeah, 29 for that, 7.77 for you. That makes a 36.77 score here for identity theft. As now, the creature from down under, they found this truck in the swamps of Australia. Did you know that?
I did not.
That is Nick Jones and Spitfire. I believe Nick says Adelaide, South Australia is his hometown. So
I am of the understanding, though, that despite the ferocity of this beast we got in front of us, it is still afraid to go up against an emu.
All right, I'm into it. I think it looks cuddly, personally. Ferocious but cuddly.
I like fire.
All right, so the first time we get the Brandy Hood Promotions look from the inside of Nick Jones and Spitfire. Ooh! All right, the in-truck view on that makes it way cool. And then he hits another jump in sequence, and you can see what it looks like trying to manhandle these beasts as he's in and around. He's doing this one-handed, too. Do you see that? One on the shifter, one on that. And oh! He does a stoppie off the front nose.
That was pretty impressive right there.
He didn't moonwalk it at all, but he did do that's called a stoppie when you come down to the front, get the back tires coming up in the air. So Spitfire showing us something we haven't seen yet. Cool look from the inside, and you can see how hard these trucks come down. Back off the tabletop, flies the front end, lands at rear tires, comes down. Spitfire, a tough truck to slap wheelie with because of the long wheelbase and the heaviness of it, but almost gave it a try there. In and across. I'm loving the in-truck view from this. That just cost me $1. Up and down from the cute and cuddly Spitfire as he is making the most of his run. Now down the back. Gentle on that jump as he comes down and through. Gases are up. Find some speed. Are we going to get one more big one out of Spitfire? Down he goes to the tabletop. And oop. Are we looking at another stoppie here? Yes, we are. He's trying to walk it. Didn't quite get much on it, but cool viewpoint. Flame on. That is the run from Spitfire here in Monster Truck Freestyle. All right, Derek, your score.
I'm going to have to go with a 2 to the third power plus 0.62.
2 to the third power, 0.62. Okay, I don't know how to add that, but I'm going to give it a 502. So it's going to be 502 plus whatever the hell Derek's score was. So, all right, and now let's move on. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Payne and Rockstar. And this truck is capable of doing some extremely cool stuff. So let's see. I'm ready. Bill Payne, Rockstar. He has been driving this truck since the dawn of time, about when I was born, according to you. As we are ready to come in and through, and Bill's going to gas her up and start hitting these jumps, and it is going to be maximum effort.
Whoa, sideways there for a brief moment. Up on two wheels.
Almost tips it. Yeah, buddy. Side spinning down through. Oh, Bill Payne, you crazy man. You crazy man. He's already eclipsed your score from last round. I know this. And if I don't know this, I'm just going to do that.
That's fair.
Excellent. You've chosen well. Down the front straightaway with all the speed. Bill Payne tearing her up in Rockstar. Comes down on the left front hard. Up and down he goes. Almost going on just two wheels around the turn. Look at all the speed he's coming to the tabletop. Big time air down in the front. Bill going to make the left-hand circle. What's he thinking? Kicks the back end around. Short jump. Follows it up. And is he going to hit it? He hits the tabletop. Up and down we go. Nice trick out of Bill Payne.
Going to go over and it looks like tear up our lovely grass between the 3/8 and 5/8 ovals.
Landscaping's expensive. Thank you for the service. We appreciate it. All right, so now we should see that same stoppie here, but he comes at it with some work, and look at him. Look at him work the stoppie, back end, in the air, walks her through, and down. Fantastic. Now, if he'd been able to back it up, he would have been, quote, moonwalking there. Hits the jump in the middle. Got a little bit left in him, has a little more time, and gonna come out and look at the donuts. Bill Payne and Rockstar finishing out his freestyle run here on Home Track Heroes. That was super cool. All right. How do you score it, sir?
I'm going to have to go with 6 times the value of pi.
6
plus
times
1 to the 4th power.
3.14 to the 4th power. Okay, and being as that I can't calculate that, I will give Bill Payne 16 million points. So he is going to win Monster Truck Freestyle with some panache. Well, way to go. It was obvious Bill won that. And
oh, yes.
A heck of a run for him. So very cool. We're done with Monster Truck Freestyle. It is time to get crazy. The world's greatest bus racing happens here at Evergreen Speedway, and we're about to let it loose for you with now color-coded buses. Yes, the numbers might be easier to see, but we painted them all different colors just to make it easier to identify them.
They've put on some lovely disguises so you won't recognize them when they pick up your kids this week.
Now, yes, welcome to back to school. These are your same bus drivers. Now, much like many other things, the rules of bus racing are made up. The lap count doesn't traditionally matter, and at the end we may just name a winner because it gets really easy to lose track of buses doing figure eights.
I believe that's what we call a Calvin ball scenario.
That works well for me. The 30 of Lars Sandgren. You can see him in the beautiful, we're saying that's red?
That's red.
It's not a burnt orange?
Are you arguing that that's not red? That is definitely red.
All right. I'm leaving this up to debate for people in the viewership who might have the color settings on their TV off a little bit.
They are off and therefore wrong. That is red.
All right. The red bus is Lars Sandgren in the 30. Behind him, the red, white, and blue bus. That is the American flag bus. Jeff Ritter drives it. It's got a number on it, allegedly, of 65, I think.
Well, there is your American flag bus right there in the intersection.
Really? All right, so what was the other bus?
I believe that was your American Airlines silver.
So Michael Duncan's 78?
Yes.
Gotcha. Are we green flag yet? Because the yellow lights are still
No, we are not.
blinking. So these are pace bus laps?
Yeah, they are pace bus laps. Trying to get them all gridded up, which is a bit difficult when you have a bunch of people doing, frankly, whatever they want behind the wheel of these buses.
Well, there's John Peterson in the blue bus, the noted cheater bus. We want to mention that bus is a notable cheater. Should be fined, hasn't been fined. Somebody needs to tear it down, but they haven't yet. So, 24 bus, white on the top, red on the bottom. We're calling that the something flag bus.
I called it the Polish bus.
The Polish bus, all right. Brian Duncan drives that one. Okay, we can agree that that's green.
That is the Evergreen 48 bus.
All right, the dark green 48 bus. It is Jay Van Buskirk driving the 48 Van Bus.
Determinative nominatism right there.
Big words scary. All right, American Airlines bus, the red, blue, and white. That's not silver. There's no silver on that.
It's silver. Okay, maybe it doesn't look silver on the television, but I can assure you that from person and looking at it from the trackside, it is definitely a silver bus.
So you're telling me that the color on this TV screen may be off and that the red bus may not be red?
I'm telling you that I also saw that bus from the trackside, and it was definitely red.
I think we're green flag racing as they make their way through the intersection. Yep, I don't see the yellow blinky lights anymore, so this is game on. Now, the pink bus, we know that's Jeremy Pratt. Jeremy spends most of his time towing vehicles. And look out, he almost gets spun by the 27 of Conley Graber, who's got the blue on the bottom, yellow on the top bus. Intersection getting crazy. Who's in the baby bus?
I do believe that is a Mr. Cody Day.
That's Cody Day? Why is he not on our sheet?
Because he doesn't race with a number, and we don't own that bus.
All right, Cody Day in the baby bus.
It does as it pleases.
And then who was in the correctional facility bus, the all-white machine we saw?
Well, I believe that is an escaped convict running that bus. I saw an orange jumpsuit behind the wheel and a fence on the front. So
wow. Well, my sheet says Michael Christensen, but if you want to call him a convict, that's fine by me.
Well, it's good to know that we have an ID on that perp.
No, don't go over the monster truck jump. This is bad. The intersection gets very busy. People stop for no reason. It reminds me of 405. We all get angry, and then we continue.
Reminds me of Union Street.
Oh, gross. All right, Cody Day almost getting the little baby bus on 2 wheels as he's chasing down the all-red, allegedly, bus of Lars Sandgren as he'll make his way through the intersection. Blue bus, the noted cheater, John Peterson, trying to come through and make up some distance. I believe we're saying Sangren's the leader for now until we decide we want to give to somebody else.
Yeah, someone's certainly a leader right now. Everybody's a winner in their own eyes.
Oh, that is such a progressive way of thinking. I'm so proud of you. I prefer to think that there's one leader and there's going to be like 7 losers.
Well, that's your 50s upbringing for you.
That's right. Sangren in the 30 right through the intersection as Pratt thinking, oh, I could tow that bus if I wipe it out. Doesn't quite get into the back end of him. Meanwhile, dark green bus, that is Van Buskirk in the Van Bus, getting trailed in and around by JP. You remember Van Buskirk in his non-bus racing days?
I do remember
Figure
his
8 guy?
outlaw figure 8 machine.
That's right. Did a lot with that car. Got a lot out of equipment that wasn't at the very tippy top of the line as far as that class went.
Yeah, at one point it was used as a lovely ramp by Ricky the Kid Dietz.
Oh, goodness. I missed that episode of Home Track Heroes. As around the corner they go, Sangren continues to lead. Heck, he's even got his headlights on. Just think when he comes to pick up your kid this week, that's going to be a wonderful experience. He's thinking of safety. Pratt showing sparkage. Oh, narrowly avoids the convicted convict 911. Barely.
Now, is that the number, or is that what we should be dialing right now?
I don't know. We haven't gotten a good enough look at it. Is Pratt's going to... Yeah, Pratt getting racy. He turns Duncan around. Duncan, back door flying open. That is not safe, children. Don't sit at the back of that bus.
Well, looks like JP helping the police out, spinning out the Department of Corrections vehicle.
Well done. See, JP, he may be a noted cheater, but he does abide by the law.
Of course.
He drives 30 miles an hour.
Whoa!
Oh, yeah! Conley Graber tips the bus over. Red flag in the bus racing. And sometimes when we tip the bus over, that ends the bus racing. Look at John. John's getting out there to make sure he can pull the plug wires on the engine so that it doesn't run again, even if we do type it back over. That's so sportsmanlike of him. All right, so that's going to be it. World's Greatest Bus Race is over. 1 of them won, 7 of them lost. I don't care who won, but I do know that 7 losers were out there, and that makes me happy.
We'll call it our defending champion, Jeff Ritter.
All right, I'm into it. So checkered flag is out, and that's it here for Home Track Heroes. I told you it was the world's greatest bus race.
I didn't deny it, but I did deny that wasn't red.
Ah, well, so first bus race for you, right, on Home Track Heroes. You've
Of
done
course,
lots
yes,
of them at the
I
track.
have.
So much fun on that one, and we've got more buses coming up here on our next Home Track Heroes show. That's going to be cool, allegedly. So taking a look, the next Home Track Heroes show, which is coming up next Sunday night, Outlaw Figure 8s, Super Stock Figure 8s, Stinger 8s, all 3 of our Figure 8 divisions are going to be in action. We'll see how much of it we can get in. The Hornets are involved. The Youth Hornets are involved. We're going to have a demo derby. We're going to have street stocks. We're going to have mini bump to pass. We're going to have big bump to pass. The buses are coming back, and depending on how it goes, we might have the world's longest record-setting limo jump as well. It's going to be a huge episode.
And I assure you that that'll all be just as good, and I'm just as sure of that as I'm sure that bus is red.
Next time that you can be here at Evergreen Speedway, it's coming up. Championship number 1 is on the 9th. Pro Late Models, Street Stocks, Mini Stocks, Legends, the Pro 4 Trucks, and the Youth Hornets. Derek, ton of fun. Thank you once again for being here on the program.
Happy to be out here and happy to spend this time with you.
That was a bunch of fun, man. So, on behalf of all of our Home Track Heroes staff and management of Evergreen Speedway, Derek Cobbs and Griff putting the show together. He's DT on TV. I am Caleb Hart. We'll see you next week, next Sunday, here on Seattle 11 for Home Track Heroes.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on KSTW 11. Join us next week for more great racing from Evergreen Speedway.